It's Mrs. Johnson again. So today we're going to look at reviewing metrics some more within charts and single conversions. And some of these are a little tricky, so I do want to go through some of them with you, but I also want you to try them on your own. So please, before we begin, go and get a scratch piece of paper and a pencil. And while you wait, go ahead and put these letters up at the top. For King Henry died unusually drinking chocolate milk. And I would write them fairly big because you're going to use that back and forth as you go to convert. So I will give you a moment and I would like you to do that. In fact, pause this video, go and get your stuff, come back to this, okay? Because I do not want you to just sit in front of the screen and watch me do it. You need to try it on your own. Otherwise, you will not be ready for your test, which will be Friday. So I want you ready. Go get a piece of paper and let's get going, okay? All right, hopefully you have written at the top of your screen, the King Henry died unusually drinking chocolate milk. If you want to put a crown above this for meaning your main unit, if you want to box it, something that's going to help you to remember that's your unit, which means 1. If you go to the right, meaning you're going from a larger unit to a smaller unit, you're going to, just like horse to fly, you multiply. If you're going to the left, small the horse, you are going to divide, of course. Keep that there so you know as well what you're going to be doing, okay? All right, we're going to start with our first conversion chart. And if you noticed, there are some meters and there are some centimeters. We had something very similar to this when we did customary units. Now we're doing metric, so we've got to use the same process, but see if we're multiplying or if we're dividing. We might be going back and forth, so keep that in mind. So when we're talking about meters, that is your unit, and then we're going to centimeters, okay? The conversion from that, take your jumps, 1, 2, has 2 zeros on it. So the only number that's going to have 2 zeros on it is 100. So we are converting with 100, okay? Also write down what's your horse, what's your fly. Well, when I look at that, meters comes before centimeters, so meters is my horse, centimeters is my fly. Okay, so when I have a horse, like 4 and 8, to get to my fly, I'm going to multiply on 4 and 8. When I have a fly, like 510,000, I'm going to go fly to horse and divide, of course. Okay, so that still applies. Now this time we are looking at 100. So 100 times 4 gives us 400. Let's do just the multiplication first. 8 times 100 is 800. Now, let's look at the division. We're going to take 500 divided by 100. Well, since there are zeros in both of them, when you're multiplying, you tack on those zeros. When you're dividing, you eliminate them. So there's 2 zeros. We're going to eliminate 2 of these here. So if I eliminated 2 zeros from 500, I then would have the answer of 5. Got rid of those 2 zeros. Same thing with 10,000. Get rid of 2 zeros on here. Well, if I do that, I can easily see that I have 100 left. Okay? So that's kind of how you do those types of conversions. So now let's go on and look at kilogram to gram. Okay? So first of all, I'm going to back up and erase some of this. Just that part. Okay, we have a kilogram to gram. Well, here is our kilogram. And our gram is our unit. So which one is your horse? Which one is your fly? You're right, kilogram comes first. So we're going to put our horse on top of it. Our fly is our gram. Okay. Now we need to see how many jumps we're going to take. 1, 2, 3. So I know I'm jumping 3 times, so I need 3 zeros or 1,000. Okay. Now we're going to use our horse to fly method. So if this is our horse, we're going horse to fly, we multiply. So when they give us a 7, we'll multiply because that is our horse or our larger unit. 11, still our horse, we're going to multiply. Now when they give us the fly, we go fly to horse, you divide, of course. So our fly is 9,000, so we're going to divide. And here, 13,000, and we're going to divide there. Okay. So now, 7 times 1,000 will give us 7 thousands. That looks more like a 1. 7,000. 1,000 times 11, we're going to have 11,000. Okay. Now, when we divide, same concept like we did over here with the meters and centimeters, and we eliminated the zeros, we're going to do the same thing here, but now we're dealing with 1,000. So that means we're going to eliminate 3 zeros. So if we eliminate 3 zeros from 9,000, we're dividing by 1,000, which then winds up giving us 9. Okay? 13,000, we eliminate 3 zeros, we get 13. Okay, does that make sense? All right, so now let's go down to here. We still have our King Henry died unusually drinking chocolate milk. What I would like you to do right now, and some of this might be really tricky, but I want you to use the method of jumping, circling what you're on, counting up, figuring out if you're multiplying or dividing, and we're going to give some of these a whirl. So I'm going to do number 1 and number 2 with you, and then I want you to try some of these on your own. We will go back and we will check over them, but I want to see what you can do now that you've known the method. But let's take a look at 1 and 2 so you know what you're doing. Okay, so same thing, we have liters and milliliters. So our liters is our unit right here. Milliliters over here. How many times am I jumping? 1, 2, 3. So I know I'm going by 1,000. Am I multiplying or am I dividing? Well, I went from my horse, I'm going to my fly, meaning I went this direction, so I'm going to multiply. So go ahead and now multiply. What do you get for your answer? You're right. 6,000. Good job. Okay. Now we're going to go to the next one. So I'm going to erase all this stuff. Okay. The other one, blank meters to centimeters. Now remember, meters is your unit. Okay, even with the acronyms or their abbreviations, your unit is going to have one letter. Meter, liter, gram. Those are your units. If it's any of these other letters to the right or the left of your unit, they're going to have another letter in front of it. So keep that in mind. That's another way of knowing what's your unit and what's not your unit. So we start with our unit and we're going to our centimeter right here. So here is your horse. Here is your fly. Do they give us the horse? They don't. They give us the fly. So that means we're actually going to start with our centimeters. And we're going to jump this way. 1, 2. So we're going to jump by 100. And since we started with our fly, remember the same fly to horse, you divide, of course. So we're going to take 100 divided by 500. See if you remember how to divide with zeros. Should have just crossed off your zeros and you get a 5. Okay. So now, not too bad. Do you see how we had to talk to ourselves, ask ourselves, where are we on our King Henry? Where are we going? How many jumps do we make? Are we going to the right where we would multiply? Are we going to the left where we would divide? And then figure that out by either multiplying or dividing. I would like you to pause the screen, do numbers 3 through 10 all on your own right now. Okay, do not wait for me. Do them all on your own right now. This is how you can see if you understand this. So everybody hit pause.